it's just like I don't know. Do they pay attention to like what other teams are talking about? Because
I feel like they try to well, at least with Emery, I felt like he tried to go uh no one's looking at this guy, but I'm going to take him in the first round because look how smart I am. And like
you're
it
right.
didn't, yeah, I mean
It
like and it didn't work. So
was the
I mean
McCall.
it worked maybe once, but
I don't
uh
think it, I think that works on like second, third, and fourth, and it works on later rounds when
right,
like you
that
can.
first round you like it's got to be like it's almost a give me. Like
You have to, yeah, you have to
like
start
this
taking.
is kind of easy. Like there's like 30 guys that are really really good. Like just take one of them. You know what I mean? And like I don't know.
Well, funniest thing is that I mean they don't take. They've needed a safety since Jesus. I was like,
2003.
I mean, they needed a safety for the past 15 years, and they like, with the exception of Kyle Fuller, they weren't. They don't pick safeties. Like they're not picking safeties in the first round, and I know that's all relative, and it depends on who's available year in and year out. But
It seemed like they felt like they could always find a diamond in the rough at safeties. Like they would draft a safety every year, like in the fifth round. Like, okay, these guys just aren't cutting it. Like you could draft all the safeties you want in the late rounds, but there's a reason why you're drafting them in the late rounds.
exactly,
Yeah, and
I felt like
I
they
think they,
trusted too much in the system.
yeah, they definitely trusted too much in their system, and I think they undervalued that position in those systems where safety was exactly what it says it is, a safety net. You know, the last hope, last gasp. If we're giving it, if this guy has to get involved, it's a bad scenario. When that's not the case, you're just kind of, instead of letting a guy just sit back there like Chris Conti
huh.
and fall down, or just keel over
But
and get concussed. Either way,
he does make a big play every once in a while.
And then it gets concussed.
Huh.
yeah, and then he's out for the rest of the year, or
And
9 games.
somebody says like, "What do y'all think about Chris Conti now?" And like the same thing I thought before. It's
He just died.
just he helped us. He just helped us out a little bit more than he usually does.
Well,
Yeah,
he would make an outstanding play early in the game to keep us in the game, and then he would have the game losing play.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
should come up
thanks.
with like they should come up with like a plus minus in football, kind of like if you made a good play
oh,
versus the bad plays you make. He would be like the leader of the minuses.
oh gosh, yeah. Absolutely.
But
So,
I'm I don't know if I'm excited about the draft to see what they do, and I'm generally not a draft guy at all because I'm interested to see if Pace does anything different or if we see some of the same stuff. Being as that he comes from the player personnel side of the business, I'm kind of excited because he should know what he's talking about and he should know how to value people. So
Well, and that's
that's
kind of
it.
what I mean. The fact that that it is that is how you build a winning organization is through the draft. Like I was telling Matt a few weeks ago that like all these signings like they're nice, but there wasn't a free agent to be had that I would have like been like, oh my gosh, because we've the Bears have signed big time free agents for the last like 6 years. Like they like to spend their money on free agents, and you get excited every off season by the free agents they sign, and then you get what we got last year. So like
Jared
I,
Allen.
I
Yeah.
don't care who they sign this year. I was not excited about it. Like I don't care about who they sign. Like you're gonna, every team has to sign some free agents to basically fill out your roster. But like I'm truly like I'm looking at it differently with like the new regime. I'm looking at it differently. I'm really looking forward to the draft for the first time in a long time, like you said, Mike, because it's with the new GM. Like what's gonna be different? Like uh, you know, are they gonna pick an obvious, someone that we've seen in a mock draft, or because like I feel like the Bears have never picked a guy that has been in anyone's mock draft because it always is someone bizarre. So like like is it gonna be like one of the guys like they finally picked a guy that everyone thought they should pick?
This is the time of year where you actually pay attention to what Mel Kiper says, because there might be one of those guys picked, as opposed to past years where we're like, oh, we're not going to get any of
Yeah,
those guys, no matter what.
it's like
Even if we pick number
picking a
one.
card out of a deck, like we're taking this guy.
But then again, I mean, you know what we've had. I mean, what's his face? Angelo was who he was, and yeah, I'll give him that. There were some picks in the later rounds that were good picks, but you can't. I mean, you gotta have a first round pick. If you have a high first
he missed,
pick,
and he missed more than
you can't miss. You can miss every once in a while. I get it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in every single sport. It's gonna happen. It just happens in life. People.
Theo doesn't
don't
miss.
live. Theo doesn't miss. We'll wait and see about that, but then you go back and think, like, then you got to think still too with that situation, who are whose guys, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I just hope I feel like the ship's getting, like, they're righting the ship, but the McCaskies are still there. Like, Ted Phillips is still there. That's what scares me. It scares me when the opening press conference, your GM says, Jake, it was like, it reminded me of Lovey almost, because they're like, Jake, we're going with Jay. And in the next sentence,
they had to at that point, though. I mean,
I know,
they
but
tried to get rid of him, they couldn't.
then
So then it was like, yeah, he's.
Oh no, I know, but then in the next sentence, Fox says it's an open competition once we get on the grass. So like, are they on the same page, or is Pace just saying Jay's our quarterback because they're stuck with him?
I think it's one. I think the competition is good. I think it's more John Fox doing coach speak.
Yeah,
because that's what he's a coach. He is, yeah, that is exactly who he is, and you're never going to change that. So, yeah, Cutler's going to be the quarterback reluctantly now, but we'll see what else is out there, what the options are, if there's anything that can happen.
And the only way I could see Clausen actually winning the competition is if, in the quote tryout, Jay Cutler goes back for a pass and his head completely falls off his shoulders. Like, literally somehow decapitates himself. It's the only way I could see Clausen winning.
But if that happened, it might hit Clausen in the head and he might get concussed.
Right. So then we'd be looking for a third quarter.
His mystery concussion last year.
But it won't be Josh Freeman because the Dolphins signed him today. Woo!
That's your AFC team, right, dude?
That is.
Dolphins. Josh Freeman. All right.
They're in the AL East this year. So I'm calling the AFC East because like all four teams have spent like crazy money on free agents and trades, and it's crazy.
Well, they got what's his face? Our guy Sue, right?
Yep. Dolphins got Sue and Jordan Cameron, the tight end. They got him from Cleveland.
They did. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
he played him. That was so great.
I didn't even know he's a free agent. But that guy's a concussion waiting to happen.
I was just about to say, like, that, like, some people go with like touchdown, like incompletion ratios or whatever. Like for him, it's like touchdown, concussion ratio. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's like 1-to-1, I think. So, but
he's I think that you just have to, like, you got to look at things like that, because what do we see? Like, concussions are the biggest conversation in like any sport, and then on top of that, you just see it time again. Once a guy gets one, the next one's coming soon. You know what I mean? Or we wouldn't talk about guys like Wes Welker not being able to play anymore because he's going to be a vegetable in like 2 years. I mean, it's a tough one, but I don't even know what kind of money he got. So That's another thing you got to look at too. What are they spending on him? What are they actually owing him? That's the interesting, fun thing about the NFL because you don't have to just because you sign a guy to a contract
Well,
doesn't mean you owe him all
they end up
money. But
not re-signing. God, what's his name? Their starter tight end from last year. They let him go so they could make
oh,
room
Clay,
for him. So yeah,
Clay,
Clay.
I
Because
forgot.
I think was it Buffalo? I
That
think it was
sounds right. Well,
Buffalo signed him, and Miami.
that's another team that's
Yeah, like I said, the whole
yeah, okay.
AFC, AFC East. Like, I mean, with the Jets, like making trades, Buffalo making tons of signings. The Patriots are still the freaking Patriots. It's
Yeah,
just like they're acting like the AL East,
I
Yankees,
know.
Red Sox, and you know,
Henry Melton went to the Bucks. He's going with it's the old it's the Bears South, right?
Oh, it absolutely is. It's your 2012 Bears South.
it's the Florida Panthers.
I don't know what it is about Florida. I don't know what it
But
is.
that was always Lovey. Like he brought on all the
Yeah.
Rams, you know. He brought in Pace
Oh gosh, yeah.
and
Half dead
Ali
pace.
Absolutely useless. That
Yeah,
tight end that
and
did nothing.
Mike Martz
Gosh, did nothing.
brought in Mike Martz too. So
Right.
Oh man. Well, moving away from football, your thoughts as spring training has wrapped up?
Brandon, go.
Um, I'm excited.
Do you have any?
I'm excited. I didn't want Baez to be sent down. I know he's struggled at the plate, but his fielding is just ridiculous and to me worth the roster spot. But other than that,
It's a Hendry guy right there, and nobody,
The
Baez,
last one.
yeah,
nobody really notices it because all the all the all the knucklehead. I'm doing air quotes right here. Cub fans that think they know, like, what's up with what's up. I agree with you with the defense, but man, he's just got no. It's like he reminds me. You remember Rob Deere, right?
of course.
He's just up there hacking. That's all he's doing. He's hacking and he's praying. And if he's going to connect, he's got such a swing that's going to fly. But I don't know, man.
Well,
It's
he's
scary.
trying to pull everything, and if
Yeah.
they just get him to kind of stay back and read the pitch and take it opposite field, they'll improve tons just from that.
But they don't hit their way off the island. You got to remember that. They don't walk their way. Sorry, they don't walk their way off the island.
That is
Sorry.
true.
I'll botch that one.
It's okay. We're talking about the
big-
Cubs here, Matt.
Yeah. Big news for Cub fans, though. The federal court struck down the lawsuit that the right field rooftop owners had to put the injunction in on the Cubs for not allowing them to put in their scoreboard their video boards in right field to quote obstruct their view. So they lost. They're out of the money. They have no grounds to stand on, and the Ricketts now just get to steamroll right through that area, and it's they should have taken the money while they had the chance.
And the scoreboard is beautiful.
Yes, that's what I'm told.
I saw a picture
Okay,
on
so
Twitter.
are we going with video board or jumbotron? Because jumbotron, I just think 80s,
Yeah, black and
Yeah,
white
like it.
or
You're
yellow
right.
and
like with all the lines squiggling all over the place on it. But I like video board better. I was just thinking of it because I was watching Sarah Spain, who's getting airtime during Sports Center now.
Is she really?
oh
Yes,
Wow.
reporting on whether I gotta say it. The whole stadium thing is just pissing me off like crazy. They look so ridiculous, I think, and they're gonna even look more ridiculous. I hope there are a myriad of home runs hit in this game, and they all go out to left and left center. Just because every time you see a home run going out, you can see, oh, where we, minor league ballpark. I'm kind of ticked off that I kind of feel like